Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got a countersink here that's a perfect candidate for a little freshening up. There's no chips or anything in this, but you can see this shiny spot along this edge. That's just showing us where it's become dull. I'm going to be sharpening this up in my camera leaving fixture, and the first thing I'm going to address is the angle. There's a very specific angle on this tool, 82 degrees, and we're going to want to recreate that exactly. The way I'm going to do that is I have this pointer set exactly at the 0, and now I'm going to use a dial indicator and dial in this true piece of stock here, get that running 0, and then when I rotate around to the angle of this countersink, I know that we're going to be awfully darn close. Now with this thing, I'm breaking edges and things like that. It's not crazy important exactly what the angle is. If it were crazy important, you could get this even more exact using dial indicators and a bit of quick trigonometry. I should mention that I have this mounting bolt snug over at this end, just snug by hand, and I have this one completely loose, so I'm rotating this end of the fixture until I get my dial reading 0. You'll notice this countersink is a 3-flute, and so I'm going to have to put my 3-flute cam in the camera leaving fixture. I've got my angle set. Before I carry on here, I don't have this camera leaving at the moment. It's just spinning around. So I want to put my test dial on there, and I want to see how much relief there currently is from the leading edge back to the trailing edge. There isn't much clearance there. Maybe 1.5 thou. I think I'm going to increase that just a little. What I'm doing now is setting the rotation of the tool relative to the cam installed in the machine. And what I want to see is, as this leading edge of this tooth face comes up past the center line height, I want to see this dial traveling in the negative direction, like this. And then well after the trailing edge has risen above center line, I want to see this pop back and reset for the next tooth. So that's just about right. Because we're dealing with an angle on this countersink, it's super important that I get my spindle at center height. If this was not at center height, we would not be creating the angle we want to. So I'm going to do that now. We measured earlier that there was about 1.5 thou relief here. And so now, with the camming action as it's currently set, I'm getting about another 2.5 thou. So basically what I want to do here is I want to adjust this until the dial reads 0 here and plus 1 thou here. And then I will have taken the total relief from 1.5 thou to 2.5 thou. Too much. So that's pretty decent right there. I do want to dress my wheel for this. Today I'm using, it's an 8-inch diameter wheel, 150 grit aluminum oxide wheel. And I believe this one has a acetate gel bond. Getting ready to dress my wheel now, and we don't have a lot of material to remove, so I'm going to give it a pretty fine, slow dressing. And I do not have a wheel guard on, but I am keeping my head out of the disc of death. So if all hell breaks loose, my head won't be in the middle of it. Now we're ready to go. So you can see there we've got a decent finish on there now, and just check for sharpness here. Nice and sharp, peels off the pen, no problem. Let's bring this over to the drill press and see how it actually works. The reason I gave this a little bit more clearance was I found that this tool really kind of pushed before. It didn't really get in there and dig, and it would create quite a burr at the top edge of the chamfer that I'm trying to create. So my hope is that it'll cut more freely now, and if I've gone too far, it'll probably chatter. So let's see what happens. Pretty happy with that. It's cutting decent. It's not chattering. I'm stalling my belt out a little bit, but that's not the tool's fault. Just started to think about chattering as I got in there deeper, but very little burr up here, which was what I was trying to get rid of, so that's a success. All in all, I'm happy with that. I think that cuts much better now, and it's freshened right up. Good for another 100,000 miles. Here it is out of the machine, and I just wanted to show you after use that cutting edge is still in great shape. There's been no damage to it. So again, I'm happy with that. That's a winner. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.